3, 2, 1,
These young actors are part of Free Agents Youth Theatre, a company based in Adelaide. And they've all been performing since they were kids.
I had a primary school production at the end of primary school where I was Demetrius to my best friend's Lysander. So this was just a really epic introduction to acting for me.
Did theatre bugs. I had a play. I had one line. And I remember that line. I had ice cream. I said, my favourite flavour is strawberry. So nailed that line in that 2-hour play. But yeah, and then since then I couldn't stop.
For many of them, theatre provides a creative outlet and a community.
It's an escape, not just for the audience, but also for the actors.
Yes.
I've met so many beautiful people through theatre and so many incredible, also like-minded creatives as well.
But some are also hoping to build careers in the industry, and they're worried.
I think because there's not this sustainable culture of theatre going, because when people think of actors, they think of, the handful of multimillionaire superstars, and then there's this big gulf, and then a huge number of people who they think of as mostly working in coffee shops, trying to get by to put on a small show.
And as young actors, you've got to start doing stage. You need that support. We're fighting the social norms of getting a stable job and trying to save up for the house. There needs to be an environment where people don't feel scared to take a risk, to give it a go.
Being an actor or being an artist of any description in Australia is so dubious a proposition.
In my younger and more vulnerable years, my father gave me some
Live entertainment is no small industry. In 2024 alone, it brought in $3.4 billion in ticket sales.
Theatre isn't just cultural, it's economic. 31 million people bought tickets to live entertainment in 2024. That is more than all of the sporting codes combined.
And people going to shows tend to spend more money elsewhere, on food, transport and accommodation.
We're a massive economic driver. We have supply chains that impact all sections of the city or the towns we perform in.
Which is why it was big news when theatre productions like Annie, Back to the Future and Beetlejuice recently cut their tours short or cancelled them completely.
It's kind of sad. Me and my family are pretty into watching the musicals together, so yeah, it was pretty disappointing.
It doesn't bother me, but if I was a fan, that would be pretty annoying.
It's really hard to be surprised by high-cost events being shut down when no one can afford it. Because I know that I can't afford it, no matter how much I'd love to go out and support.
Putting on a production is expensive. It's not just about paying the actors.
All right, beautiful. Well, we'll jump straight into cast change.
There's the directors, set and costume designers, makeup artists, lighting technicians, and a whole team backstage who work to bring a production to life. And travelling between Australia's capital cities is particularly expensive. Ticket prices have increased to cover costs, but in a cost of living crisis, ticket sales have gone down. The average cost for seeing a show in Australia is $115. And for a lot of people on limited incomes, that's just not affordable.
Absolutely not.
When it comes to things that aren't a need or a necessity, or that tend to be more than $50, it's a lot more difficult for young people to justify it to themselves.
It's probably not really that affordable to go to a lot or even at all.
Especially with, for us, exams and stuff, so people are less likely to get part-time jobs and less likely to be able to afford those kinds of tickets.
And I don't think these prices are necessarily a reflection of what the production wants to charge people, but I think it's out of necessity.
All of this means it's hard to get producers and private investors to fund a show in the first place. Many in the industry are now calling on the government to step in. Live Performance Australia, which is the organisation that advocates for the live performance sector, reckons Australia should follow the same model as the London's West End, where there are tax incentives for investors in live performance, something we already have in film, television and gaming.
The only thing that isn't part of that is live entertainment or live theatre, which is sort of a kooky thing, really.
Live Performance Australia says this would lead to almost 170 new productions hitting the stage in Australia, $500 million being brought back into the economy, and more than 4,000 new jobs.
He was only doing what he thought.
The government hasn't committed to anything, but says it's exploring the idea. As for these young actors, they say investing in live performance has benefits beyond the theatre.
History is full of examples of artists who looked at the way the world is, thought about it, and came back and produced a work that not only entertains, but then says something about society.
Creating art, you can say definitively, we started with nothing, we came up with something, people came to it, people loved it, people got something out of it. You can really take ownership of something in a way that is not really common for young people to be able to do.
You know, young people lonelier than ever now. In a theatre environment, it's community with purpose as well. And I think that's very important for young people.
Not just young people, everyone needs theatre.
As soon as the creatives go away, things get very dark and things get very boring very quickly.
It doesn't have to be expensive. And so popularity comes back to, it's you. You have to take the effort to go and see it. You will enjoy it. I guarantee it. Try it at least once.